Time moves quietly, almost invisibly, yet it shapes every part of our lives. Days pass, weeks disappear, and suddenly years feel like they have slipped through our hands. Many people only begin to think seriously about time when they feel it running out. They look back and wonder where it all went. The Stoic philosophers reflected deeply on this problem long before the modern world existed. They understood that life itself is not necessarily short. What makes life feel short is how easily it can be wasted. Before we go deeper into this idea, take a small moment and write something simple in the comments. Time matters. This is more than just a phrase. It is a reminder that the hours you are living right now are part of the limited time you have on this earth. And if you enjoy exploring ideas from Stoic philosophy, consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss future reflections like this. The goal here is simply to share wisdom that helps strengthen the mind and bring clarity to everyday life. The Stoics believed that the greatest tragedy is not death itself, but the quiet waste of life before death arrives. Most people do not lose their lives suddenly. Instead, they gradually trade their time for distractions, unnecessary worries and habits that slowly drain their days. Seneca once observed that people guard their money carefully, yet they give away their time without hesitation. They protect their possessions, but they allow hours of their life to disappear without question. Think about how often the mind drifts into activities that provide nothing lasting. Endless scrolling, pointless arguments, or worrying about things outside of our control can quietly consume large portions of our day. None of these things feel dramatic in the moment. They seem harmless, even normal. But when repeated day after day, they quietly shape the direction of an entire life. The Stoics believed that awareness is the first step toward reclaiming time. Many people waste their lives simply because they never pause to ask themselves how they are using their hours. Life becomes a sequence of routines and distractions that run on autopilot. When a person finally stops to examine their habits, they often discover how much time has been given away without purpose. Marcus Aurelius frequently reminded himself that every day should be approached as if it carries real value. He did not mean that every moment must be productive or intense. Instead, he meant that each day deserves conscious attention. When you understand that time is limited, you naturally begin to treat it differently. Modern life encourages the opposite mindset. It suggests that time is always abundant. There is always tomorrow, always another week, always another opportunity to start later. This illusion makes it easy to postpone meaningful action. People delay learning, delay improving themselves, delay pursuing goals, and delay having important conversations. They assume that the future will provide endless opportunities to do what they are avoiding today. But the Stoics rejected this illusion. They understood that the future is uncertain, while the present moment is the only time that truly belongs to us. Every day that passes without intention becomes part of the past, and the past cannot be recovered. If this idea resonates with you, take a moment to write another phrase in the comments. Use your time wisely. Sometimes a small reminder like this helps bring awareness back to how we are spending our days. One reason people waste their lives is that they become trapped in constant distraction. Distraction is powerful because it feels comfortable. It allows us to avoid difficult thinking and uncomfortable effort. Instead of confronting our goals or responsibilities, we fill the mind with temporary stimulation. The Stoics warned against this habit long before modern technology made distraction so easily available. They believed that a restless mind often escapes into noise because silence forces us to confront ourselves. In silence, we notice how we are living, and sometimes what we see is uncomfortable. But this discomfort is not something to fear. It is often the beginning of clarity. When a person steps away from constant distraction, they begin to see their life more clearly. They notice how certain habits consume time without providing meaning. They recognize which activities truly matter and which ones simply fill empty hours. Another way people waste their lives is by allowing other people's opinions to control their decisions. The Stoics observed that many individuals spend years trying to satisfy expectations that are not truly their own. They choose careers, lifestyles, or ambitions based on what others admire rather than what aligns with their values. This kind of life can feel busy and successful on the surface, yet internally it often creates dissatisfaction. The person senses that their time is being spent on something that does not truly belong to them. Stoicism encourages a different approach. It invites people to examine their values honestly and to align their actions with those values. When a person understands what matters most to them, their time naturally begins to organize itself around those priorities. Living with intention does not mean that every moment must be serious or intense. Even rest and relaxation have their place, but there is a difference between rest that restores energy and distraction that slowly drains life without providing anything meaningful in return. Another quiet way life is wasted is through constant worry. Many people spend large portions of their time imagining problems that have not yet happened. They replay past mistakes, analyze conversations repeatedly, and imagine negative outcomes that may never occur. The Stoics considered this habit a misuse of mental energy. Worry places the mind in situations that do not yet exist. Instead of dealing with reality, the mind becomes occupied with imaginary scenarios. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that the present moment is the only place where action is possible. The past cannot be changed, and the future cannot be controlled entirely. But the present moment offers an opportunity to respond wisely. When a person focuses their attention on what they can do right now, worry begins to lose its grip. Energy shifts from imagining problems to taking meaningful action. Take a moment to reflect on your own day. How much of your time is spent on things that truly matter to you, and how much is spent reacting automatically to distractions or worries? If you feel that this reflection is important, write another phrase in the comments. Every moment counts. This simple sentence captures a central Stoic belief. Time is not something that returns once it is gone. The Stoics also believed that recognizing the temporary nature of life can be surprisingly empowering. Instead of creating fear, this awareness often creates urgency in the best sense. When you understand that time is limited, you begin to value your moments more deeply. Conversations become more meaningful. Decisions become clearer. The desire to delay important things becomes weaker because you understand that waiting forever is not an option. This mindset does not require dramatic changes overnight. In fact, the Stoics often emphasized small improvements. A person does not reclaim their life in one grand moment. They reclaim it gradually through daily choices. Choosing to spend an hour learning instead of scrolling through distractions may seem small. Choosing to have a meaningful conversation instead of avoiding it may seem small. Choosing to begin working toward a goal instead of postponing it may seem small. But these small choices accumulate over time. Days become months, and months become years. Eventually, the direction of a life is shaped by the habits repeated most often. There is also something important to remember. Living wisely does not mean eliminating joy or spontaneity. Stoicism is not about becoming rigid or emotionless. It is about becoming aware. When you are aware of how you spend your time, you gain the freedom to choose activities that genuinely enrich your life. A walk in nature, a thoughtful conversation, reading something that expands your understanding, or working toward a meaningful goal can all become valuable uses of time when approached with intention. What the Stoics warned against was not enjoyment but unconscious living. They believe the real danger is drifting through life without noticing how our days are passing. Another aspect of wasting life comes from waiting for perfect conditions. Many people delay action because they feel unprepared. They believe they must wait until they have more knowledge, more confidence, or more certainty before beginning something meaningful. But perfection rarely arrives. Waiting for the perfect moment often becomes an excuse that postpones action indefinitely. The Stoics understood that progress comes from beginning, even when circumstances are imperfect. Life rarely provides ideal conditions. Instead, it provides opportunities that must be acted upon with the resources we currently possess. If you find yourself often waiting for the perfect moment, this may be a good time to reflect on that habit. The present moment, with all its imperfections, may already be the opportunity you have been postponing. At this point in the video, take another moment to engage with the idea we have been discussing. Write, "I choose how I spend my time." This statement represents a shift in perspective. It reminds you that your daily choices shape the direction of your life. The Stoics believed that a meaningful life is built not through extraordinary events, but through consistent awareness. Each day presents an opportunity to live more consciously than the day before. Some days will still be imperfect. There will be distractions, mistakes, and moments when focus is lost. But awareness allows you to notice these moments quickly and return to a more intentional way of living. Over time, this awareness creates a subtle but powerful transformation. Instead of feeling that life is slipping away, you begin to feel that you are actively participating in it. The hours of your day start to feel more valuable because they are no longer disappearing unnoticed. You begin to recognize that time is not simply something that happens to you. It is something you shape through your decisions. As we come toward the end of this reflection, remember that Stoic philosophy does not demand perfection. It encourages awareness and gradual improvement. The goal is not to eliminate every wasted moment, but to reduce the number of moments that pass without intention. Life becomes richer when we notice it more clearly. Even simple moments gain significance when we understand their place within the limited time we have. Before we finish, write one final phrase in the comments: "I value my time." This is perhaps the most important realization the Stoics tried to communicate. When you value your time, you begin to protect it, and when you protect it, you naturally begin to live more fully. If you found value in this reflection and would like to continue exploring ideas from Stoic philosophy, you are welcome to subscribe to the channel. The aim here is simply to share insights that help us think more clearly and live with greater intention. Because in the end, life is not measured only by how many years we have, but by how consciously we choose to spend them.